Rude people don't talk over you because they're strong. They do it because they're terrified of losing control. And every time you freeze, laugh it off, or drop the subject, you quietly teach them that their behavior works. That's why it keeps happening with the same people. The coworker who interrupts and mocks you, the friend who makes jokes that actually hurt, the family member who crosses every boundary every time. You don't need to become mean to stop them. You just need to understand how power dynamics and psychology work in conversations. Psychologists call this dominance behavior, using rudeness, volume, or sarcasm to grab power in a social interaction. And once you understand it, you'll see why you act the way you do around these people. Your brain has 3 default reactions to social threat: fight, snap back, argue, get emotional; flight, go quiet, avoid, shut down; fawn, laugh it off, agree, self-deprecate to keep the peace. Rude people love the last two, because if you go quiet, they win. If you joke along, they win. If you explode, they still win. Now you look like the problem. So you walk away replaying it in your head thinking, I should have said something. Why do I always freeze? Not saying anything protects you in the moment, but it trains them to keep going. But here's where it gets even worse. Your silence doesn't just affect how they treat you, it rewires how you see yourself. Each time you let it slide, your brain gets the message, my comfort doesn't matter. Keeping the peace is more important than my dignity. I can't stand up for myself. That becomes your identity. So the next time someone is rude, your brain doesn't even look for a strong response. It goes straight to freeze mode. Here's the harsh truth. Psychology says people aren't repeatedly rude to you because they don't realize it. They're rude because on some level, they've learned there are no real consequences. But here's the part nobody wants to admit. You don't need the perfect savage comeback. You don't need to humiliate them. You just need to make their behavior awkward and unprofitable. Rude people thrive on your emotional reaction or your complete submission. The one thing they can't handle? Calm, direct, public boundary setting. Because it flips the script. Suddenly, they look small, you look composed, and the social group sees the behavior for what it is. This happens because your brain is wired to avoid social rejection. It thinks, if I call this out, they'll get mad. I'll look dramatic. People will think I'm sensitive. So your brain pushes you to protect connection instead of protecting respect. But the reality is this: you don't lose respect by calling out rudeness. You lose respect from yourself and others by pretending you're okay with it. Your brain does this to protect you from short-term discomfort, but it traps you in long-term disrespect. The key is to respond in a way that is short, calm, clear, and impossible to argue with. You don't explain, you don't defend, you don't match their energy. You label the behavior and end the interaction. If that hit you, good. It means you needed it. Because here's the truth you've been avoiding. You are not too polite to stand up for yourself. You're just unpracticed. You've rehearsed staying quiet 1,000 times. You've probably never rehearsed the sentence that shuts things down. So when the moment comes, your mind goes blank. Let's fix that. If you want to break this cycle, start with one go-to line that instantly silences rude people by making their behavior visible. Here are 3 that work in almost any situation. Use this when someone makes a rude comment or joke at your expense. What did you mean by that? Then stay silent, hold eye contact. Rude comments only work when they slide by. When you force them to explain out loud, it becomes uncomfortable for them. Use this when someone talks to you in a disrespectful tone. I'm not okay with being spoken to like that. If you want to continue this conversation, speak to me respectfully. Say it once, calm tone, neutral face. Then stop talking. Let the silence do the work. Use this when they keep pushing. This conversation isn't respectful, so I'm stepping away. Or in text, I'm not continuing this if you're going to be rude. Talk later. You teach them rudeness equals loss of access to you. Here's the mental trick that actually works. Decide your line before you need it. Pick 1 or 2 of these sentences. Practice saying them out loud, in the mirror, in the car. Visualize the rude person. Hear their usual comment. Then rehearse your line. You're training your brain to make this your new default reaction. Because the goal isn't to destroy anyone. The goal is to make disrespect expensive and embarrassing without you losing your cool. Most people don't realize this, but your brain has been lying to you about confrontation. It told you, if you speak up, you'll lose people. The reality? If you never speak up, you lose yourself. Silence rude people by refusing to silently accept rudeness. 1 clear sentence, 1 calm tone, 1 exit if needed. That's how you take your power back, immediately.